Hello there, how are ya? Welcome back to How I Did It. Today's video is going to be me using a log splitter for the first time. Now, last year around the summer, I had a bunch of trees cleaned up around my mother's yard and my yard. I let the wood dry out and now I am splitting it, and I'm doing this kind of in a rush. We have a cold front moving in. So in order for me to have heat at the off-grid barn, I had to come into town and get all this wood split, get it restacked, and get my little 87 Toyota pickup loaded with as much as I thought it would handle safely going down the road. After all, it is an 87. Alrighty, so this is a 12.5 horsepower, 35-ton Husky splitter. I borrowed it from my neighbor who lives up the street. He showed me how to use it and I was pleasantly surprised. I thought for sure it'd be more difficult. The hardest part was getting all of these dried logs and stumps out of the vines and whatnot that had grown along the fence here. Now here's the beauty of this. I paid to have the trees cut, but it cost basically 50 cents per piece of wood. So you can get 10 pieces of wood for $20. So when you look at that pile, each piece of that wood in that pile is worth 50 cents. This was well worth my 2 days of splitting and pulling it out of the weeds and then getting it all stacked. Now here I'm loading it up in my, like I said, my little 87 Toyota pickup. This bed is a true 4x8 bed. You can actually set a whole sheet of drywall or a whole sheet of plywood in the back, on top of the wheel wells, of course, and then close the door or close the gate. So it's a big bed. So once I finished getting this portion of the wood split and loaded, I ended up saying, okay, we're good for tonight, and then I'm just going to go ahead and pick it up tomorrow. I was amazed at how much longer it took me than what I thought it was going to take me, but overall, if you can rent a splitter, you should rent it and split your own wood. Alright, day 2. At least I have an office with a view, right? Alright, here we go. This wood wasn't in as good of shape as the wood across the street at my mother's house. This wood had a lot of those wood boring weevils or worms or whatever you want to call it. So there were a lot of pieces of wood that were kind of flaky when you went to split it. This seemed to go much quicker than yesterday's splitting as well. But like I said, at 50 cents per piece of wood, which I think is highway robbery. I can remember my grandfather splitting wood and selling wood and us going working in the woods with him, and for a cord of wood he got, 75 bucks for it, and that was for a whole true cord where it's 8 foot by 4 foot by I think 2 foot deep or 4 foot deep. 4 by 4 by 8 is a true cord. Anyway, that's okay. Every time I started getting tired, I just thought 50 cents a board, 50 cents a board. So this is pretty cool. I was amazed too at how little gas that this splitter took. I would say maybe a total of a half a gallon to do all of the wood that I did. The flicker on here because I sped it up and the sun came out. It's like an old movie between the sound and the sun coming through the leaves on the trees. Alrighty, got all the wood done and the storm is moving in, or should I say the cold snap. Very cold. Alrighty y'all, thanks for stopping by. Have a blessed day.